Taylor, Lee, we're at the NHL All-Star Game. We're shooting this interview. The state of hockey, Minnesota, the team you both play for, the state you grew up in. We'll start with you, Lee. What does it mean to play for Team Minnesota and play professional women's hockey?
Both of those are really exciting, and to get to do them both together all at the same time is really special. It's something growing up I didn't know if I'd get the chance to do. And so to have a league come together like this and then to be a part of Team Minnesota and, like you said, the state of hockey, it's been an awesome year so far. Everything you would want to dream about in a professional league.
I don't think it was a surprise that you were going to get drafted first overall, but nonetheless, until the moment happens, you never know. And then you go to Minnesota. What's the memory from that moment?
Yeah, I remember obviously in the summer when there hadn't been the rankings yet of who was going to get first pick, second pick, third pick, whatever. And I talked to my parents, and it was just an exciting time to be a part of something big and something new. And it's been really exciting. Obviously, it was an exciting time in the draft and everything, but I was just really happy to be a part of something that I can continue to play hockey. And that's what all of us wanted to do. We just wanted to play. So it's been special. Minnesota has a special place in my heart. So it's been really fun.
Natalie, Kendall, moms, professional women's hockey players. It's got a good ring to it, doesn't it? Doesn't it have a great ring to it? Natalie, I'm going to start with you. And this is kind of a sentimental first question for both of you, but I'll start with Natalie. What did it mean for you to have your son Rory at your very first professional women's hockey league game?
Oh, it was amazing. I think, obviously, having him and being able for him to see me, maybe not remember, but hopefully see me, living out my dream of wanting to play professional hockey and getting to play it in Toronto. I hope eventually he'll get to see pictures at least or videos of himself there and realize how cool it is and how historic it was that he was able to be there.
Yeah. Kendall?
I think extremely special, hard to put into words. I think what was so special about it for me was not only was it the first game I was back, the first professional game of this new league, the first game Drew was at, but it hit me that he's never going to know a world different than a young boy and a young girl growing up with the same dream of being a professional hockey player, and that's all he's ever going to know.
All right, let's make it official. It's not Jamie Lee, it's just Ratty. I'm calling you Ratty for this whole interview. You're good with that?
Yeah, like old pals, we're good.
Does anyone call you Jamie Lee ever?
Not really, just my mom. She every single time, before the game, she goes, have a good, or play your best and have fun, Jamie Lee. It's always Jamie Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, that is my name, so fair, but in the hockey world, very rarely do I get Jamie Lee. It's always Ratty.
Okay, so Ratty.
Yeah.
Let's go right into the gusto, the draft. Yeah. And the story was the Ottawa girls can go back to Ottawa, and then all of a sudden Boston picks your name. Take us through that. What did that feel like?
Yeah, I think everyone was kind of going through a world of emotions that day. And to be honest, I was going into the day with no expectation. Obviously, going home would have been really special and playing in Ottawa, and they've got a great fan base there. But I think when Boston called my name, I was super excited. I think, I had a connection with Courtney Kessel, or Birch as I call her. Back we played in the PWHL days, so we had that connection. But just after talking to Danielle right away, I knew I was where I was supposed to be. The cool thing is 10 years out of college, I'd been living in Toronto for 10 years, and I had a brand new adventure in a new city, which was really cool and a little bit scary, I think, at first, but I think after I was really embracing it, and we've got such a great crew there, and I've loved every second of it.
So you did go back home to play, and you scored in Ottawa, and I watched that game, and your celebration explained a lot of things. Yeah. What did it explain to you?
I think, first of all, monkey off the back. I think I'd gone a couple games without a goal, and I think as a player, you just want to get the first one out of the way. But I think obviously scoring at home, your first goal ever as a pro, I think you can't really make that up. I think that's so cool, and all the girls were making fun of me because I screamed so loud. But I think the cool thing is that building is so awesome to play in. It's so loud, but I think the cool thing as a visitor is you get to kind of shut it up, right? You get to quiet it down, and I think that was kind of cool for me. And being home, it was special. I think that building, I used to go all the time and with my dad and watch the 67s play, and it's got so much character to it. So overall, it was such a cool trip home, and it's always fun to score a goal too. So.
Lee, when you get an opportunity to reflect, who do you kind of remember most about helping you from Minnesota as you grew up a young female player?
Yeah, I feel really lucky to have been from Minnesota, especially Roseville, Minnesota. The Broat family has had a huge impact on girls and women's hockey overall, and to have them have a huge impact on my career from the moment I started, really, getting to watch Winnie Broat, being coached by Vic Broat. They started the Whitecaps, I don't even know how many years ago, and that really laid the groundwork to have a pro team there today. So still really grateful for everything that they've done for both myself and girls hockey.
And Taylor, what about you? Who do you look back as someone who really helped your career from Minnesota?
Yeah, my story is a little, I feel like, different than most, but Winnie definitely, helped me. She kind of found me in southern Minnesota and got me up to the cities to play hockey, which is, southern Minnesota, most people probably don't know, but it's very small. You get some stars here and there, but it's not a lot of really good hockey. I really enjoyed it because my best friends were down there, but the cities had the best hockey. So I played on the Minnesota Machine, and we traveled all over Winnipeg, Toronto, all these places I've been as a child. Scott Bulby was my coach there, and he's been someone I've looked up to for a really long time, and I've been able to play with his kids for a while now. But Minnesota, there's just been so many people, you can't really say everyone's name. The list is ongoing and long, but just like Lee said, very grateful to be a part of such an amazing community that relishes the hockey community, but also just cares so much about you as a person as well.
What do you think is the most valuable lesson that your sons are going to learn from you being their mom?
I just hope he realizes how strong women are and girls are, and hopefully, by seeing us, follow our dreams, but also the strength that we have of, playing the game, but being able to come back after having them. I hope that he's able to take that through his life, whether it's, his future wife, his future daughters, even just, his friends at school. I hope he's a cheerleader for them.
How about you?
I ultimately, for me, I hope he grows up and he's a great person. Whatever he chooses to do in life, whether it's sport or something outside of sport, doesn't matter, but he's a good person. He treats people the right way, and he'll learn one day that both his mom and his dad was a professional athlete, and to know that young girls and young boys can have the same dream as it pertains to being a professional athlete in our respective sports.
I'm going to stick with you, Taylor, because I'm going to ask you to describe Lee and the type of leader and player that she is.
Number one that comes to my mind is mother. She just, cares about you in a way that your mother would, but she does everything the right way. You never have to ask her twice to do something when it comes to someone else. And she, as someone who is younger, I try to do more of an action-based instead of sometimes always speaking out, and I think she's someone that does a really good job of doing both. She has the stability outside of hockey that makes her someone that you can look up to and lean on, and then both on the rink and off the rink she's strong, and I've always said she's one of the defense I never want to play against. Her stick is a mile long, so she's just stable, and she's someone that you can always look up to if you ever have a question or on the ice and have everything that you need. So
yeah, Hillary Knight said you're the protector, which is probably why you maybe get too many penalty minutes sometimes.
Yeah, no. This is probably the first time in my career I've had as many as I had. So I'm learning, I'm figuring out where the line is and hoping the refs don't have my number already.
Yeah,
this is good girls.
Yeah.
Speaking of character, if you talk to any of us older players, you're one of our favorite players because of your character and your ability to play any role. Even on the national team, you were, 13th forward to top line to wherever they would put you. How were you able to do that? Because you excelled at it. You didn't just do it, you excelled at it.
To be honest, I think you just got to kind of control what you can. I know that's so cliche, but it's true. You can't control when the coach puts you on. You can't control what the game is going to bring you. I think, to be honest, I just kind of focus on what my next task is and what my next shift is. And I've had some really great teammates too. That group is so special, right? They make you feel valued no matter where you are in that lineup. And I think that's something really special too. But I'm also the type that stays really engaged. I like to chat with my teammates on the bench. I like to watch the game, and I think that helps me a lot. I think if I'm engaged in the game, then that way when I get into the game, that no matter how often it is, I think it's easier for me to get in.
Where do you think that character comes from, though?
My parents. I think growing up, they always taught me that nothing was kind of given to you. I think it's always earned, and it's funny. I'm an only child, and they spoiled the heck out of me in terms of hockey. They drove me everywhere. They put so much time into it, but they made sure that I earned everything that I got. And I think that's something that I've always taken with me. And I think in terms of work ethic, my dad, he gets up at 5:30 for work every single morning, and he doesn't have to be up that early, but he is. Same thing with my mom when she was working in nursing. She was up that early, making sure she was ready for her day at work. And I think I mean, the girls will bug me now how early I'm at the rink, and I just love it. I think it gets me ready for my day and what I need to accomplish, and I owe a lot of that to my parents for sure.
So describe Taylor. You know, obviously I've been watching Taylor for a while. I'm really excited to get the chance to play with her more this year. The first word you can use to describe her is talent. You've seen that from her high school days. But I'm really excited. The energy she brings now that I've gotten to be on a team with her, I think is really exciting. She's someone who is just dedicated to hockey and being the best she can be every day she's on the ice. And so I think that, like she said, through her actions, that is how she leads. She shows up and she does the right things every day. And she definitely is becoming more comfortable and more vocal of a leader as we need to lean on her, in Minnesota, and she's doing an awesome job.
Thanks.
Give each other $20 later
Yeah,
on the story.
behind the table.
Yeah. The hardest part, I'll go back to you, Kendall, the hardest part of coming back.
There's a lot of things that have been challenging coming back. Especially I think the hardest part has been getting my body back to where I want it to be while managing feeding, and how draining that process is. But also your priorities shift really quickly of, he's my priority, he comes first. Where before it's like, okay, when's ice, when's the weight room, when am I going to eat? All of that's last. It's, when is he going to eat? When is he going to nap? How can I build my schedule, my workout, my ice around his schedule when we have help in order for someone to watch him when I'm gone. So I think it's just been managing it all, but that's something that I love and that I embrace is that challenge. So I think that was probably the hardest part.
Spoons?
Yeah, I mean, all of those, I agree, were challenging. I think one thing that no one really prepares you for probably is the breastfeeding and just how time consuming and how much of a full-time job it is. And if you are away from the baby, the pumping and the making sure that he's fed, I'm happy to be over that part now, but that was something that was definitely very eye-opening and a big commitment to do while, being busy. And then I would say the other one was the body changing and kind of the injuries that come along with pregnancy and having loose ligaments and just your body being totally different and having to just kind of work through that to get back to where your body was before.
Yeah. I remember I couldn't run for a year, so I don't know how you guys are doing this.
I'm still not running, so
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
okay.
Okay.
And your grandfather, who I know passed away in 2011, you have a story about next days. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, he was the best. He attacked every day like it was the last, and I know that's, like a lot of people say they can do that, but he went through a lot of health battles in his day, and I truly believed he lived a lot longer because of the way he lived his life. And my grandma took great care of him, but he was always so happy to see anyone. He always come watch my games. He'd say hi to the other team. He'd say hi to the refs. He'd say hi to everybody after the game, and the way he attacked life is something that I always like to take with me because I truly believe that's why he lived as long as he did over the years.
Favorite moment so far playing in Minnesota?
That first game, 13,000 fans at the XL Energy Center. The energy was awesome. Getting to play, it was our second game, but just it felt like what it was all about. Like everything you had been working for was leading to a moment like that, and just the way the Minnesota fans continue to support us is awesome.
How about you? Can you add to that?
I mean, I have to say the same thing as that, but also I really enjoy skating around during warm-ups and seeing all the little girls' signs and everyone that, brings that, want factor of I want to do that. You're someone I want to be like, and you just look at them and you think that was me as a kid. And then also meeting fans after the game where we try to be accessible, not too accessible, but accessible enough where you can come up and ask questions or have a little girl that just wants a puck sign, things like that. Where I know when I was a kid I didn't have that really opportunity to do that unless I was at the Gopher games and stuff, but still it was still not the same. And this is awesome. I've met a lot of really cool people both on social media and in person, which has been pretty cool.
I think that's the one thing I'm most proud of as an older player is watching you guys interact, and you never miss an autograph, which just makes me, so proud.
So Susanna Toppany, who actually is on the phone behind us here, and your team was part of the first trade. Yeah. You and her play the first, 5 or 6 games with each other. What's the impact that she's had on your group?
She's been amazing. I think she brings a wealth of experience, right? She's, been to 3 Olympic Games with Team Finland. She's played at the highest level for a long time, and I think too, like it's hard. Like no one's ever been through a trade before, right? Whether you're getting traded or if you're on a team or anything like that. So I think it was important for us as a team to try to welcome them as much as we could. And she has been a huge impact to us. She's good everywhere. She's one of our, she wins every single face-off it seems. But she's super smart, and I think that's been a really big boost for our team. And I hope they feel at home in Boston. I'm sure it wasn't an easy ride for her and Abby. So. We're really happy to have her.
How has becoming a mom made you a better player, Kendall?
It's made me a better person. And then player secondary. I think my arms have gotten stronger because I just carry a baby around all day and don't even realize it. If you asked me to hold a 20-pound weight for 24 hours, I couldn't do it. Mentally, I couldn't. But you told me to hold my son for 24 hours, I'd be like, sure, give me 48. I don't know why. You just do it as a mom. I think that's the kind of, you just do it. But wait, this is a mom brain. What was the question?
Yeah.
What was your initial question?
How he's made you a better player.
Oh, he's made you a better player. I think what I've noticed so far is just coming back home, and usually I would overthink the mistakes I made or overthink, what I could have done better, playing the coulda, shoulda, woulda game with myself. But when I come home, it's just I see him and forget about everything else, and I'll take the time to watch the film when I have the time to do so, and but it's just it puts everything into perspective when you come home, and he doesn't care if you win, if you lost, if you had a great game, a bad game, whatever. It's your mom, and that's all that matters. And so I think for me, that's how he's made me a better player.
I think about postpartum, and it was quite isolating in a sense. Like you're quite on your own, you're stuck with this baby, and so for me, being able to come back and play and be with the team, it just put a whole other sense of gratitude into it, because I felt like myself again. I had the support now of all my teammates around me. I was able to kind of enjoy it a lot more and have still a sense of like who I was as me, but also be a mom and mesh them together so nice.
After going through the birthing process, you leave that experience being like, I can accomplish anything in life. And I think we're both people who have had goals and we've achieved those goals, and but after giving birth, I'm like, there is nothing standing in the way of accomplishing anything after going through this.
I will never feel that pain again.
I guess just going back to, if this is a little bit of a tough question in the sense that I'm going to ask you, Taylor, what would you tell yourself if you were Lee's age? And Lee, what would you tell yourself if you were Taylor's age?
Wow.
So this is a bit of a deep one.
In my mind, she's 20. 23
Yeah,
with me.
100%.
But I would say, like, to enjoy every single moment and realize, I'm not going to look back on hockey and be like, the goals, the points, the assists, the games won, the games lost. Sometimes the games lost stick with you, but I feel like it's going to be the bus rides. Like, our team's just so hilarious, and right now, like, just relishing in the moment of everything that's happened, not only in this year, but everything moving forward. I've done all that work back at home. I've done it when I was a kid. I've done it in high school. Like, it's okay now to just, like, enjoy it. I just feel like there's a lot to be grateful for and thankful for sure.
And she's not going anywhere anytime soon.
No,
there's no way. I know.
No.
What would you say to yourself at Taylor's age, knowing what you know now?
I'm sure you can attest to it. It just goes by really fast. It is so fun. It is all of those moments that you remember the most, and being able to put everything into it, I know, is something that I am happy you wouldn't regret. When you're at that age, you get to focus on being a hockey player and being the best you can be, while, like you said, being surrounded by your teammates and awesome moments like this. So soak it all in and commit yourself to it entirely, and you won't regret it.
Yeah.
You love to cook. So speaking of feeling at home, you love to cook. And the funny thing is you as a Canadian actually cooked the U.S. Thanksgiving dinner for the team. But where do you get your love of cooking?
Yeah, so my dad is a really good cook. And growing up, I just always watched him do it. And we have a cottage, and we always love having people over for dinner. And we always had big family dinners. Didn't matter how busy our day was at the cottage, we always sat down for a meal, and it was always a good meal. So that's where I learned how to cook, and I love to host people and have people over, and my fiance and I love having people over. And for American Thanksgiving, not everybody got to go home. We didn't have that long of a break, so I was like, we might as well, let's buy a big turkey and see what we can put together. And the girls brought over some sides, and it really turned into a nice little meal, so it was a lot of fun.
So speaking of fiance, because it was still a little difficult, it's new, right? It's new for you to say, but big in August, it's going to be a big day.
Yeah, August.
You and Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney and I are getting married, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure we'll have no fun with all the girls in town, and I think the funny thing is we always talk about the day that she's like, I just want everyone to have fun. You know, I'm the same way. Like, the music's got to be good, and everyone just has to have fun, and then I'll be super happy.
You know, Taylor, I'm going to give you the last word because I want the last story to be about Lee, as you can appreciate.
Absolutely.
What does it mean to you to play with players like Lee, who basically sacrificed 4 years of their career so that you could be the first ever draft pick? And, you know, what does that mean to you?
I get chills talking about it, but I just would think, like, she's said stories, and everyone that's like came before me where, like, I didn't have to go through the hard times, and I fully appreciate everyone that did, but like listening to some of the stories, like, they're laughable sometimes, like with the things that they had to go through, and, you know, either harassment or like people not understanding how like concrete our sport is, and sometimes you just need to get the word out there, but like they went through so many things that like I just can't even imagine going through, and to just have, you know, someone like Lee and other people on our team, Kendall, and, you know, people in our league like Hillary and Pooh and all those type of people who have, you know, been through it and been like, this is nothing. Like, this is great, I'm living the dream, but all that hard work and sacrifice obviously led up to this moment, and it's a special one to be a part of, and a special one for not only me to share with them, but them to share with me all of those experiences they've had and all those things that led up to this. It's important, you know, for someone like me who's young to know and to truly relish in the moment that this is a dream and I'm living it, and I haven't had to have the nightmares prior. So obviously, like, they love what they do so much, and they've sacrificed, you know, paying for their ice and getting up at 5 in the morning. Like, stories like that are, you know, ones that make you cringe a little bit, but, you know, they do everything the right way, and they're living their dream, and I'm happy to be a part of that with them as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great dream, isn't it? Yeah. What is one of those things that you hear being an athlete, a great athlete, a professional athlete, and being a mom?
For me, when I announced my pregnancy, it was the initial response of, congratulations on a great career. There was just this strong assumption that my career was over because I got pregnant, and kind of challenging some people of, well, why can't I have a baby and continue to play hockey? Because it's coming out of my body. If it was coming out of my husband's body, would you ask the same question? I think there was just this automatic, you're done. And it's like, no, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna come back stronger than I was before. For me, speed's my game, and people being like, oh, she's never gonna be as fast as she once was. You know, so that kind of is another thing that I've heard.
First of all, you will become as fast as you were. It takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember coming back and I was just like in so much pain that I couldn't even move. So, I mean, it will come back. I almost feel that when I had a baby, like, people almost just thought like I forgot how to play hockey. Like, I had a baby, but I didn't forget how to play hockey. Like, it might take my body some time to get back. Yes, my body has changed. My body has grown a human. Like, it's done amazing things, but it also can, like, do more amazing things. And maybe this is just like a new version of my body that's going to be able to play better. Like, we don't know. That's the thing. Like, there's so many unknowns in pregnancy, but I know for a fact that, like, I will work my butt off to get back to the same player, if not better than I was before. So I think that it's those assumptions that you're just not going to be at the same level you were before, for sure, was hard. But then also I think, like, you can take it in another sense that, like, I'll prove you wrong.
As his mother, he's on my mind 100% of the day, but when I'm at hockey, like, he's being taken care of. And, you know, mom will come back after hockey. Just because I'm a mom doesn't mean I can't have a career in addition to being a mom too. It sometimes feels like we have to choose one or the other.
There's like a guilt put on us for, like, leaving our kid to, like, pursue our goals too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
You're great moms. You're great moms. You are, and great athletes too. So thank you. You know what? This one's for your mom.
Okay.
Thanks, Jamie Lee. Thank you.
Play your best and have fun.
Yeah, play your best and have fun.